Andy.
Hi.
You have been interviewing some of our artists,
Okay.
and I think it's time for us to do the same to you.
Okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of people is very curious on how did the idea of Ambon Jazz Plus Festival come along, or how was the concept formed?
Ah, that's actually has a deep meaning or deep reason why uh, the festival was created, or the name Ambon Jazz Plus Festival was created. Um, I came to Ambon sent by a one of the largest Christian television network out of USA called CBN. I was sent by the Indonesian branch office to film the procession of Passover or Easter procession, traditional Easter procession in Maluku, in Ambon. And I was sent there with three of film crew. Went to Ambon, and that was for the first time since 1980 when I was living in the United States and I visited Indonesia after for a bit and passed by Ambon. So quite a long time after that, and I uh, I saw how Ambon was devastated by a conflict between two religious groups, the Christian and Muslim, which is we all know that it was politically driven by some bigot politician in Jakarta. But at that time, it was just about 2 or maybe not even 3 years recovered from that era. So I saw that, and then after the shoot, after this the session, I went back to Jakarta, and then I was called back by the head pastors of one of the again largest charismatic church in Ambon, sort of like share my inputs and about music and music style, and did a bit of teaching of vocal teaching or vocal sessions with the praise and worship team of that church, and it's called Rock, Representative of Christ Kingdom Church in Ambon. So when I was invited, I was planning only to stay there for maybe maximum 3 days, but I ended up staying there for a week, maybe a little bit more than a week. And during that time, I saw how Ambon was really devastated. The people, the friendship between friends that are Muslim and Christians were really only on the surface. Was still like everybody was still, watching each other. Whether there's no really trust anymore between friends, and so I asked a couple of friends from the same church and give them a thought about maybe we have to do something with an international realm or international how you call package, that people can come back to Ambon again, bring nation back to Ambon again, because even Indonesians outside of Maluku, they were all afraid to come to Ambon and visit. Yet Ambon was a beautiful town, definitely a hub for a destination, tourism destination in the eastern part of Indonesia. But it was, everybody was scared to come to Ambon. They were afraid that uh, war between those two religious groups can happen again. So we had to do something. And yet Ambon at that time did not have the I call facilities to create an international event, hotels were all below standards, and not that many hotels. Room capacities was, I think, under maybe under 400 or 300 rooms and things like that. But we had to do something. So in one of the room, I still remember. I think it's 217 room in. I think I can mention the name of the hotel. It's one of the legendary hotels in Ambon, which is Hotel Mutiara. I was in that room, and suddenly I was just thinking, oh, wow, let's create something that that we can do something for Ambon. So that's where the name. I like music. That's what the name Ambon Jazz Plus Festival came from. Came about. Sorry. Uh, I include the name Plus because Plus means more than just jazz. It's more than just jazz genre, because I knew that at that time other genre of music also liked by people in Ambon. So that came Ambon Jazz Plus Festival. And also one of the instigator is also when I was in the States, I received a cassette. At that time was cassette. I think it was during early 80s. I was still. It's the cassette. It's called Amboina Jazz Rock. It was sang by a late singer, very well known and very one of Maluku's best entertainers and also recording artists, called Yu Pilatu. And I like that album. It's very, very how you call R&B, funky, jazzy, and things like that. So that name also instigated the idea. I think the album called Amboina Jazz Rock. So because of the jazz and the rock name, I thought, okay, let's do plus. So Ambon Jazz Plus Festival. And so that's when the name. That's the reason why the name was created, and the moment or the time when the name was created.
I see. And since Ambon Jazz Plus, it was started in 2009
Yep.
until 2012 in that time. What has the AJPF program been trying to achieve all these years?
When I met my partner, Samuel Samson, who was introduced to me the middle of 2008 by Pastor Chris Manusama, who was the head of that church. I met him at the airport and asked him if I can talk to him, and brought up this idea. We sat down and talked, and he asked me, what can we do out of this festival? What would be the outcome of this festival will be that can be beneficial for the people in Ambon or in Maluku? So immediately in my head, I said, well, let's build an art and science academy out of the proceeds that we can get from Ambon Jazz Plus Festival. And he said he agreed, because I grew up in Los Angeles, and I knew about an art school called Pasadena Art Center. Well, they did all the art for product designs and all kinds of things, 3D animation, things like that. So I thought, let's build that, art and science. So art meaning, representing music, representing how you call painting, representing dances, representing acting, things like that, and sciences. Because the reason why science, because Maluku, is rich of its natural resources, and also its the things that it has in its ocean and its sea. So I thought maybe for the future generation we can combine that art and science, and he agreed. So that's actually our long-term achievement. But the short-term achievement is actually because Maluku is known for their artistry in music and in singing and instruments, playing instruments like trumpet, guitar, ukulele. So I think at that time I thought maybe we can create the music industry out of Ambon Jazz Plus Festival for Maluku, so the future generation can achieve their goals in music and arts, and at the same time make a living out of it. So that's actually the short term that we were planning with. At that time, we were planning to do out of Ambon Jazz Plus Festival.
Great. So as far as you can recall, what is the one thing most memorable in AJPF?
The most memorable, actually, there are two. One is in 2011 on the 8th of October, which is the second day of Ambon Jazz Plus Festival at that year. We were able to convince the provincial government of Maluku and the city government of Ambon to take a step and declare Ambon as the city of music of Indonesia. The reason why we wanted to do that, because since 2009 and until 2011, a short time recovering from that religious conflict, we were able to bring more than 380 artists and musicians and their crew into Ambon. This is talking about national and international acts into Ambon. So we feel that if we brought all those artists to Jakarta, that's easy to do. But to Ambon was just in a short period of time recovered from a hideous 5 years of commotion. We were able to convince these well-known people to come and play and perform in Ambon. So we feel it's time for us to take that step. Because otherwise, a city like Bandung or Yogyakarta or Surabaya or even Bali and Denpasar can claim that, as a city of music. So we convinced the provincial government and the city government. At that time, the governor was Karel Ralahalu, and the mayor was and still is actually Richard Lohana Pessi. We convinced them to declare, and they declared on stage Ambon as the city of music in front of all media reporters and about 3,000 spectators of Ambon Jazz Plus Festival at that night. And that was a great moment for me, a memorable one. And the second thing is, in 2012, after two consecutive years trying to bring them into Ambon, did not get any permission, or some of governmental reasons or political reasons. We were able to bring one of the top Navy, U.S. Navy jazz band called Orient Express to come and play in Ambon. And it was amazing, because usually that Orient Express would perform in a place or in a city or wherever if and only if the mothership or naval mothership or frigates or whatever, I think it's a mothership, would be parked in that area. But here we got the permission by the Foreign Minister of Indonesia, Martina Talagawa, and the Chief of Staff of the Army or the military of Indonesia. I totally forgot the name of the person. In writing, they give us the permission, and the permission was granted that the Orient Express, which consists of United States Naval soldiers, musician, to fly from Yokohama, if I'm not mistaken, to fly with the United States Air Force, airplane. Oops, down from all the way from Japan to Ambon. and I was able. I was it was an honor for me that I was the only one allowed to come in on board the plane and to greet them, and they they arrive in Ambon, greet them, and they had a spectacular time in Ambon for 2 nights. The second night they played in Ambon Jazz Plus Festival for more than an hour. That was great. That was a moment for me. It was a pride moment because I grew up in the United States, and I'm a crazy fan of the Navy, Air Force, and Marines of the United States. So
And it's
it was a
almost
big honor for me myself. I was so stoked to see those boys and girls of the Navy, the U.S. Navy, played on the stage of Ambon Jazz Plus Festival. So those are the two memorable moments.
and it's almost impossible to do so, to invite them over.
Oh, it for me it is the how you call the partake or the hand of the higher being was involved in that.
And it's also really amazing that, since the declaration of City of Music is already 9 years now.
Yeah, exactly. 2008, and it was declared by the governor of the province of Maluku, and also by the mayor of the city of Ambon, who is still a mayor of the city of Ambon today.
Yeah.